Where you want it?
Bay 12, please.
Hello there, Transformers fans, and welcome back to another Bay 12 video review. And today we are reviewing the Transformers Legacy Evolution Tarn from the IDW comics. This is another figure that we've been waiting on for a minute. Now, not as long as some of the other characters we've gotten throughout Legacy. Some of those other characters, like Jaxus, for example, we waited much longer to get a good figure of. But I'm glad we didn't have to wait super long to get a really cool figure of Tarn. And he looks awesome. So you got some awesome artwork there of him in tank mode on the front. Some artwork of him in his robot modes there on the side. On that side, you've got half of the Legacy Evolution artwork banner. And on the back, you've got some words and things and shots of the figure in his various modes. And that's pretty much it for the packaging. And here he is right out of the packaging. He looks really great. They did such an awesome job on his double fusion cannon arm there. You've got that really good face sculpt with the Decepticon faceplate. Tarn is, of course, the head of the Decepticon Justice Division, aside from being a high-ranking Decepticon under Megatron, of course. He is also tasked with hunting down deserters. And some of those deserters are big-name targets. But no matter how big or how small, he and the rest of his crew, all of which are named after Decepticon's major cities on Cybertron, he's going to hunt them down, and he's going to bring justice to those who desert the Decepticon cause. And that's such an awesome character. He was very cool, another IDW original. And it took us, I think, a little longer than it should have to get an awesome figure of him, especially since he finally made the leap to television with the Transformers Cyberverse cartoon series. Now, the depiction of Tarn in Cyberverse was a little bit different from his origins in the IDW comics, however, but they did use a design that was very, very similar to the comics. It's almost exactly the same, in fact. So that was really cool. And I like how they took the angle of making him Megatron's perfect vision of what a Decepticon is. So I also really liked that. Now, aside from just being a really awesome character and being the head of his Decepticon Justice Division, Tarn is also a zealot of Decepticonism. So much so that when he found out that Megatron abandoned Decepticonism, spoiler alert by the way, in the comics, he became Megatron's top priority. So much so, other former Decepticons who were on his list to take out, he ended up having joined forces with him just to get Megatron, because Megatron was his idol, his muse, his hero, and everything. He lived for Megatron, and when he found out that Megatron abandoned it, it broke him. So much to the point to where he became even more mentally unstable and doubled down on his zealotry and decided to hunt down Megatron at any cost. Now, of course, it cost him everything, because Megatron walked away from that fight because he's Megatron. Of course he's going to walk away from that fight. No 2-bit Decepticon is ever going to rank up next to my man's Megatron. For comparison, here he is next to the Flame Toys official IDW Megatron figure. So this is the Autobot Megatron. Now, I know they did a Decepticon version of this. Really, the only difference is a sticker. But he was not a Decepticon with this body. As he was depicted with this body, this is Autobot Megatron. And while it doesn't transform, this is one of my all-time favorite, absolute favorite Megatron action figures. I love this figure so much. The detail on this, which we did review, of course, back on Bay 12 forever ago on, I think, on Facebook. At some point, we'll update that video and put it up here on our YouTube channel. But I absolutely love this figure. And seeing them side by side and they scale really well next to each other is amazing. Now, Flame Toys did do a very expensive high-end non-transforming Tarn as well, based off of his appearance in the IDW comics. And then, of course, Super 7 is releasing an Ultimates at some point in their line. I don't want to get into all that right now, but let's just say I am very unhappy with Super 7 and how they've been putting out the Transformer Ultimates. And that in of itself is an understatement of how I feel. So I'm not going to get into that. But anyway, Super 7 is supposed to have a Ultimates Tarn with Nickel coming out here very soon. Now that's going to be a super articulated figure that doesn't transform as well. So if you like very articulated non-transforming figures, check out Super 7. You just might not get it for a few years because I pre-ordered that thing back in December of, well, back in like fall, winter of 2021. Yeah. And Wave 2 is still not out yet. And Wave 5 recently went up for pre-order, and Wave 2 is still not out yet. I'm not happy, Super 7. I'm not happy. Anyway, on a more cheery note, here is Tarn. Fully articulated in robot mode, head is on a ball joint. Fully articulated shoulders, upper bicep, and you even have a joint right here above the bicep under the shoulder there. Single jointed elbows, wrist joints, the fingers flex. I love flexing fingers on figures. They don't individually flex, they flex as all one piece, but I love flexing fingers on figures. That is so cool. Swivel waist, fully articulated hips, upper thigh, single jointed knees, side ankle joints, and forward and back ankle joints. And that's mostly due to transformation, but hey, you still get to do it. And that's pretty much it for articulation. Now, like I said, he does have his awesome double barrel fusion cannon. Like I said, he was obsessed not only with Decepticonism, but with Megatron himself. And what's cooler than one fusion cannon? Two fusion cannons on one arm. That is so awesome. That is such a cool design. You know, it's awesome. Anyway, transformation is pretty cool. What we do is we're going to take off that fusion cannon there. Actually, real quick before we do that, you can disassemble the fusion cannons and connect them together end to end. Now, it doesn't really matter which end you do this with, but you can do that. That's not really something Tarn does. He doesn't do this in the comics. He doesn't do this in the Cyberverse cartoon. But it was a cool, you know, feature that you can do with the toy if that's something you want to do with it. So, yeah, there you go. Anyway, set that aside. What we're going to do is we are going to fold those feet down like so. We are going to pull on this back section here and rotate it around. Flip those barrels forward like that. Open up that chest section there a little bit, and then we're going to fold the head all the way inside. Next, we're going to pull on these tread sections right here, and we're going to rotate, and sometimes that's going to happen. But we're going to rotate those all the way back. We're going to put that back on, and that's going to sit forward like so, and then just bring down that back piece. There is a little clear plastic peg right there. It's going to peg into the back of the waist. Or at least it should. There we go. Next, we're going to peg those legs together, and then with those knees, we're going to bring those all the way up. And then there are two little tabs right here, and those are going to peg in right there on the feet. So just work with that knee joint there and get it to tab in like so. And we're just about done now. All we have left is the arms. So close up those fists, rotate that, bring this section back like so. And then this little tab right here is going to tab in right there under the side of the leg to secure that section into place. And then the forearm is going to tab into the side of the thigh as well. And then what I like to do so he doesn't have fists or his hands just kind of hanging up on the underside of the tank, I like to rotate those fists around so that they're facing bottom. So you got the back of the hands facing up versus the just robot mode hands facing up. Do the same thing over here. Hook that part in. There we go. Rotate that fist around. And then we come to the rest of the treads there. Open up that panel. Untab it from the side of that shoulder bit. Rotate it in. And fold it on underneath. It's kind of weird having that bit of tread on the bottom where it should be side facing, not bottom facing, but I guess just don't look at the tank from the bottom, I guess. There we go, get that on. Make sure everything, there we go. And last but not least, what we do is we take the mount here for his tank gun. There's two little tabs right here and two little peg holes right there. We're going to stick that on like so. Rotate this facing forward and put his fusion cannon barrels back on, and there you have Tarn in his tank mode. And he looks awesome in tank mode. It's a very, very cool tank mode. And also, from what I can tell, pretty comic accurate as well. So another really cool tank, another really cool figure, another really cool unique figure in the Transformers Legacy line. Again, Legacy has just been very good. Overall, the whole line has been really cool with a lot of awesome characters that have either really desperately needed a modern update or characters who've never gotten a figure, period, either modern or otherwise. And this is a really awesome figure. Now, I really hope Hasbro does the rest of the Decepticon Justice Division. I know there's a third-party set out there with the full team, and they even combine. Now, they did not do this in the comics, but they do even combine, which is cool. It's a nice touch, but I really hope Hasbro does the rest of them too. So I think that'd be really cool. Now, I do have one big gripe about this guy in vehicle mode, and I know a lot of other collectors have a pretty similar gripe. He has fake wheels. Fake wheels molded on top of the treads. What's the point of that? Either put actual wheels on there to make it roll or seem like it can roll, or just don't put anything on there at all, because the fake wheels are just silly. There's no point in having fake wheels on fake treads. Either make the treads articulate, which would be difficult due to his transformation and unique design, or put actual wheels on there to make it so it can roll, but don't put fake wheels on there. That's just totally unnecessary and silly. Maybe it's just me. Guys, thank you so much for tuning into today's review featuring the Transformers Legacy Evolution Tarn, once again from the IDW comic books. And what do you think about this Tarn figure overall? Did you even know about Tarn before this figure was announced and released? And if you did know about Tarn, did you know about him from the comic books, or did you know about him from the Cyberverse cartoon? And what do you think of this character overall? And would you like to see the rest of the DJD get made in future Hasbro releases? Let us know in the comments. Stay tuned for more Transformers reviews. Stay tuned for some of our other reviews, because we have a wide variety of content here on Bay 12 all the time. Like and subscribe. Follow us on social media, and in case you're local or visiting us in town, make sure you come by our store inside the Shops at Willow Bend Mall inside Order 66 Multiverse in Plano, Texas. We'll see you guys later. We'll see you another time. Transform and roll out.
That's it, man. Game over, man. It's game over.